This is a Crazy Cow video! Well, Roy, I really can't sing that there song without you backing me up on your banjo bar. So, I'll just sing this here other song.
As a Republican presidential candidate, Congressman Ron Paul barely shows up in the polls at all. But one thing he said at the last GOP debate is out in the open tonight because it is still making headlines and causing tremendous outrage. He was talking about the 9/11 attacks and what caused them. Just listen to this.
I'm suggesting that we listen to the people who attacked us and the reason they did it.
Is this thing on? Well, Roy, did you hear that? That feller said we should listen to the people who attacked us. What kind of gall darn language is that anyway? A damn terrorist?
And they are delighted that we're over there because Osama bin Laden has said, I am glad you're over on our sand because we can target you so much easier. They've already now, since that time, have killed 3,400 of our men, and I don't think it was necessary.
It's an extraordinary statement of someone who lived through the attack of September 11, that we invited the attack because we were attacking Iraq. I don't think I've ever heard that before, and I've heard some pretty absurd explanations for September 11.
Right, so you can tell where the applause was that night and where the crowd stood on that. But wait, didn't Ron Paul have a point there? That the U.S. meddling in the Middle East has caused some resentment against America. Let's turn to CNN contributor Roland Martin. He happens to think so. He wrote a commentary about it for CNN.com. He's back with us along with the rest of our panel, Ben Ferguson and Tom Hartman. Welcome back. All right, Roland, let's talk a little bit about this piece you wrote about 9/11, and you said that there is a point that deserves to be debated here. I want you to set the record straight tonight. Are you saying that the United States is in any way responsible for bringing on the attacks of 9/11?
Well, first of all, it's not a matter of is the U.S. responsible for bringing on the attacks. What he was saying is it impacts foreign policy. What we did not play was the clip when he cited, for instance, the American overthrowing of the Iranian government in 1953 of Mohammad Mossadegh, the prime minister, really over oil to help British petroleum, then Anglo-Iranian oil, and how that was the reason cited in 1979 when they overthrew the U.S. embassy and kidnapped Americans. See, the problem, Paula, is as Americans, we really don't want to look at history. We act as if what took place last week's impact this week, when in fact,
but fast forward,
other countries 20, 30 years ago does contribute.
Wait, answer the question. So you're saying that if you look at the foreign policy of the United States, it contributed to the anger that sparked 9/11.
And that is the reason that, as Paul was saying, cited by the individuals who did it. He is not justifying the attack. He is not saying it's okay. In fact, it is absolutely wrong and we should have struck back. But what he's saying is you have to understand what the other person is thinking to factor into your equation.
All right, Ben.
No, what you want to do is...
Hold on. Marijuana.
Let me ask you this question. Are you going to deny tonight that U.S. foreign policy had anything to do with the attack?
Yeah, you know what? Yes, and I'll tell you why. Because these fundamentalists are crazy. They use Mickey Mouse to teach their kids to blow themselves up. Explain the USS Cole bombing. Explain the First World Trade Center bombing. We weren't doing jack squat around the world to irritate or anger them. We had to say, well, Roland, you had plenty of time. Give me 1 second, okay? My point is this. These people are crazy. They're willing to blow themselves up. They're not rational. We could leave Iraq, Afghanistan, send them millions of dollars, help train their kids to blow us up, and they'd still kill us because they hate us. They always have, and they always will.
All right, let me bring Tom into the conversation. You've heard what both of our guests have had to say tonight.
People don't hate the back. And it's not limited to Muslims.
Don't like love at all.
At least Tim McVeigh thought he was justified. He was, on the anniversary, the second anniversary of Waco, Christian terrorism. I mean, there's a whole variety of these problems. But to look at any of these things, frankly, I'm agreeing with points of both of your guests. To look at this in particular, to look at this in a vacuum, I think is a disaster. We do need to learn lessons. And that was what Ron Paul, what Ron Paul was doing in the debate is something that Dennis Kucinich very often does in the Democratic debates, and that is he was being the truth teller. He was the little boy who was saying, Emperor wears no clothes. And that's a really important role to play, even though it's a role that nobody else seemed to want to hear.
You guys are smart guys. Please tell me you understand that Ron Paul is a no one who wanted to make a name for himself, so he said something a little bit extremely crazy to get some notoriety. I mean, he's not mainstream.
And look at the response across the country to it. It was very positive.
It was not positive. It was absolutely not positive.
No, stop it, Ben. The fundamental problem, Paul, is people like Ben don't like reading. They don't want to accept history. It's amazing how
you don't know me, and that's not true. History doesn't read itself in this country.
But Ben, listening to what you just said, you
don't
act as if when America does something, like it has no impact on someone else. It absolutely does.
It's the other Republican candidates as well. They're all trying to demagogue this issue, too.
I guess I'm crazy with another 11 people.
I can't understand all three of you, and you're talking over each other, Ben. You're going to get the last word tonight, but you can't have it both ways. You can't sit here and deny tonight that foreign policy had nothing to do and just write it off as a bunch of crazos that hate America. Don't you believe the history of the involvement in this country overseas in various places had something to do with this anger
I think they hate America. America is an easy place to hate because we do have a great life here. I agree. Hold on a second. I agree that this country, there's people around the world that hate us. Look at Lebanon today. Al Qaeda is going after them, and that's a 180 from what America is. They love to hate people. They teach hate, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to play our foreign policy as trying to be nice all the time, because when we are nice, they still blow us up. And if you look at what they tell their children, they say, blow yourself up for our God. That is not normal or rational.
Okay, gentlemen, I got to leave it there. Thom Hartmann, Ben Ferguson, Roland Martin. Interesting discussion. Catch your breath now.
Don't split your britches there, Roy. I got another one coming to you shortly.